I'm a non-drinker, I'm just going to drink water. Found water at the bar, but you can get water at the bar. Make sure it's my left side, because that's my good side. Don't get my Patton. It's where it's all thin. Right, okay. I'm Paul Heatley. I'm going to read to you from Bad Bastards. Bad Bastards tells the story of Patton and Tammy, a couple of young fools that fall in love. Unfortunately, Tammy's dad runs a motorcycle club. He doesn't run it, he's sergeant at arms, but whatever. You know, he's a dangerous man. Anyway, here we go. Prologue. Be prepared, be quick, be wary. Harvey thinks, fuck this shit. Harvey thinks, if he'd known what a fucking clusterfucking fuck this whole thing would be, he would have chased this kid as soon as he'd laid eyes on him. Be prepared, be quick, be wary. Shit, he did chase this kid, but the kid was persistent. Harvey should have chased him further. Now it's too late. Now what he's got is one hell of a fucking mess to clean up. Bullets, blood, and a fuckload of bodies. Be prepared, be quick, be wary. Chapter 1. How it begins. Patton is fucking a girl. He knows he shouldn't be fucking her, but he is. He thinks he's in love. It's a fool notion. He knows it, same as he knows he shouldn't be fucking her, shouldn't be anywhere near her. The girl's name is Tammy Dawson. Tammy Dawson is the most beautiful girl Patton's ever seen. She's tall, almost as tall as he is, and most of her length is in her legs. They go on and on, from the tops of her thighs to the tips of her toes. The rest of her is real swell too. She's tight-bodied like a supermodel. Her hair is long, brown, straight like a supermodel. She's flat-chested like a supermodel. But when he sucks on her pink rosebud nipples, feels them harden between his teeth, it doesn't matter how big or small her breasts are. They went to school together, but she's a couple of years younger. She didn't look then how she looks now. Kept herself covered up with thick jumpers and plaid skirts that went down past her knees. Coke bottle glasses that covered half her face and made her bug-eyed. Books clutched to her chest like she was trying to hide behind them. Always hiding. The clothes disguising what was beneath who she was. Didn't matter what she'd worn though. People stayed away. People knew who her father was. Well, that's the Geordie coming through, it's was. People knew who her father was. Knew who he was with. Knew the things he'd done. Same way Patton knows it. Knows it right now, deep inside her, her long legs wrapped around him. But right now, deep inside her, her long legs wrapped around him, Tammy's father is the furthest thing from his mind. The first time they hooked up, he couldn't shake Bobby Hodges' bearded visage. Took him a long time to finish in the back of his car. The sweat was dripping from him, from the tip of his nose and running in rivulets down his back. It wasn't solely the exertion that made him sweat. The constant looking over his shoulder, out the steamed windows, making sure Bobby Hodge wasn't closing in like some all-knowing force of nature. The fear was making him sweat hard. They'd met in the bar. Tammy was dressed different. Gone were the home-knit hand-me-down sweaters gifted from her grandmother. Gone were the two long skirts that concealed the torn muscles in her thighs. Gone were those painfully thick granny glasses. Instead, she wore denim cut-offs that barely covered all of her ass, and a loose black vest that flashed her bra if she moved too quick. She looked like what she was, a biker's daughter, or a biker's old lady. Patton hadn't recognised her. When he voiced his surprise at her metamorphosis, she said she'd recognised him straight off, said she'd remembered him from school. She'd always thought he was cute. That surprised him too. It wasn't like he'd been popular, like he'd been on any sports team, like he'd been particularly noticeable. He'd kept to himself, a loner. He'd been as invisible as Tammy had tried to make herself. So they talked. Then they went to his car and they fucked. After they exchanged numbers, he didn't expect her to call, but she did. They met up. They fucked some more. Sometimes they didn't fuck. They sat together, lay together, talked. Patton fell in love. Like a fucking idiot, he fell in love with Bobby Hodges' daughter. But now is one of the times they fuck. Time has passed, so now Patton is relaxed. He's at ease. His mind is concentrated solely upon Tammy, below him, around him, what he's doing to her and what she's doing to him. He's not listening to anything beyond her breaths, beyond her gasps. He's not listening to the house. He doesn't hear the door open. Doesn't hear the footfalls out in the corridor getting close. They're in her house. It's a nice house and a not so It's a nice house in a not so nice neighbourhood. No one bothers Tammy, no. Not the drug dealers or the crackheads. Her father's name, the club he's a part of, it still carries as much weight now as it did when they were in high school. More so. The drug dealers work for them. The crackheads rely on them. They won't go near Tammy. Whoever is in the house, it's not them. Tammy's is the only house that has never been broken into. Tammy's house is under constant surveillance by the drug dealers, by the crackheads, and they report back to Bobby. They tell him who comes and who goes. They especially tell him about the guy that keeps coming back, that stays the night. Bobby is especially interested. Bobby comes down the hallway. He isn't trying to be quiet. First Patton knows of it, there are hands on his shoulders. They yank him up, drag him from the bed. He can smell sweat and leather. He can feel the strength in those hands. Then those hands throw him to the ground. Those hands are decorated with rings. Thick fucking rings. They do more damage than knuckles ever could. They tear up Patton's face with every blow rained down. At first all Patton can think is, I'm naked. I'm getting my ass kicked and I'm naked. Then he hears Tammy on the bed still. She's screaming. Then he realises it's Bobby. The hands, the rings, they belong to Bobby, and he gets scared. Really scared. Those fists keep raining down and he thinks he's going to die. Bobby will kill him. Bobby won't think twice. Bobby's killed men before. Everyone knows it. He's been to prison for one of them. He got off another on the grounds of self-defence, and everyone knows that was bullshit. Same way everyone knows there's a whole bunch of other corpses they've never found. That's me. They ain't going to find me. Then the punching stops. There's a boot gets driven into his ribs for good measure and it's over. His head swims. He tastes blood. It's in his eyes. He can't open his eyes. They're swollen shut. The whole of his face feels swollen and it pulses. It throbs. Tammy is screaming still, and then she's not. Something is said, shouted. Patton can't tell by whom. It feels like he's underwater. He can't hear a thing. Then those hands have him again. One of them tangles itself in his hair and it drags him down the hallway. It feels like his scalp will tear from his skull, and then he's outside. The ground gets cold, and it's kind of wet, and Patton remembers that he is still naked. He feels warm breath in his face. It gets close to his ear, making sure he hears, "You come back here and I'll kill you." Then the door to the house is slammed shut. Patton is out in the cold. Well, that's prologue in chapter 1. I mean, I think it's pretty good. What do you think? Buy it if you like it. And then you don't have to put up for Geordie reading it, pretend to be American. I barely pretended. I hope you enjoyed it.